Okay, well, let's start off today's episode with this. It's a little song I just made. And that's it. Yeah, that's all I've made. Okay, so, yep. Here's the song. I guess I might put it in the description. So here, today we are going to talk about the nursery rhymes of England. And for background music, well, that was supposed to be the background music, but I made it too intense, so I'll just have some Celeste music in the background. Or more likely Shapes.io music. And without further ado, let's begin. Okay. So this was produced by David Edwards, Leslie Halamek, and the online distributed proofreading team at http://www.pgdp.net, and this file was produced from images generously made available by the Internet Archive. So these are the nursery rhymes of England, collected by James Orchard Halliwell, the nursery rhymes of England, by James Orchard Halliwell, with illustrations by W.B. Scott. London and New York, not York. Frederick Warren and Co. 1886, preface to the 5th edition. The great encouragement which has been given by the public to previous editions of this little work satisfactorily proves that, notwithstanding the extension of serious education to all but the earliest periods of life, there exists an undying love for the popular remnants of the ancient Scandinavian nursery literature. The infants and the children of the 19th century have not then deserted the rhymes chanted so many ages by the mothers of the North. This is a great nursery fact, a proof that there is contained in some of these traditional nonsense rhymes a meaning and a romance, possibly intelligible only to very young minds, that exercise an influence on the fancy of children. It is obvious that there must exist something of this kind, for no modern compositions are found to supply altogether the place of an ancient doggerel. What's a doggerel? Hold on, I gotta search that up. Okay, the nursery rhyme... Wait, hold on, I have to search up what doggerel means. Okay, so apparently a doggerel is a comic verse composed in a regular rhythm, doggerel verses, or a verse or words are badly written or expressed, so the last stanza deteriorates into doggerel. Also, something that shows up is dog rules, so it also sounds like dog rule, doggerel, doggerel, dog rule, doggerel. Okay, so the nursery rhyme is the ancient doggerel. Okay, so that puts on a new meaning. The nursery rhyme is the novel and light reading of the infant scholar. It occupies, with respect to the ABC, the position of a romance which relieves the mind from the cares of a riper age. The absurdity and frivolity of a rhyme may naturally be its chief attractions to the very young, and there will be something lost from the imagination of that child, whose parents insist that, on the matters of fact, the cow must be made in compliance with the rules of their educational code to jump under instead of over the moon, while of course the little dog must be considered as barking, not laughing at the circumstance. Hey, who says it has to make sense? these or any such objections, for it seems there are others of about equal weight, are, as it appears to me, more silly than the worst nursery rhyme that the little readers will meet with in the following pages. I am quite willing to leave the question up to their decision, feeling assured the catering for them has not been in vain, and that these cullings from the highways and the byways, they have been collected from nearly every county in England, will be to them real flowers, soothing the misery of many an hour of infantine adversity. What's infantine? Archaic term for infantile. Okay. Infantine adversity. Okay, so we have some pictures. Okay. Violin. Old King Cole, who was a very merry old soul, a merry old soul was he. He called for his pipe, and he called for his bowl, and he called for his fiddlers 3. Every fiddler he had a fiddle, and a very fine fiddle had he. Tweedledee, tweedledee went the fiddlers, though there's none so rare as can compare with King Cole and his fiddlers 3. Tweedledee, tweedledee went the fiddlers, though there's none so rare as can compare with King Cole and his fiddlers 3. Wait, let me look. He, D, 3, he, fiddler, rare compare, wait, I think the last one, we have, the very fine fiddle had he, tweedledee, there's none so rare as can compare with King Cole and his fiddlers 3. Yeah, you could turn this into a limerick. You could take a part of it out and then turn it into a limerick. I noticed that. The traditional nursery rhymes of England commence with a large satire on King Cole, who reigned in Britain, as the old chroniclers inform us, in the 3rd century after Christ. According to the Robert of Gloucester, he was the father of Saint Helena, and so Butler must be wrong in ascribing an obscure origin to the celebrated mother of Constantine. Constantine. King Cole was a brave and popular man in his day, and ascended to the throne of Britain on the death of Asclepiad, amidst the acclamations of the people, or as Robert of Gloucester, yes, I got that right, expresses himself. The foal was though of this laundy, you paid, well, you know, now. At Colchester, there is a large earthwork supposed to have been a Roman amphitheater, which goes popularly by the name of King Cole's Kitchen. According to Geoffrey of Monmouth, I've heard Monmouth before, and that's it. King Cole's daughter was well skilled in music, but we unfortunately have no evidence to show that her father was attached to science further than what is contained in the foregoing lines, which are of doubtful antiquity. The following version of the song is of the 17th century, one given above probably being a modernization. Good King Cole, he called for his bowl, and he called for fiddlers 3, and there was fiddle for twice fiddle, for 'twas my lady's birthday. Therefore we keep holiday and come to be merry. Therefore we keep holiday and come to be merry. I like this version better than this. Hold on. I think... So, it describes music as a science. Okay. When good King Arthur ruled this land, he was a goodly king. He stole 3 pecks of... When good King Arthur ruled this land, he was a goodly king. He stole 3 pecks of barley meal to make a bag pudding. A bag pudding the king did make, and stuffed it well with plums, and in it put great lumps of fat as big as my two thumbs. The king and queen did eat thereof, and noblemen beside, and what they could not eat that night, the queen next morning fried. What's a bag pudding? Bag pudding. What is a bag pudding? A dessert pudding boiled or steamed in a bag. So you take a pudding and then boil it or steam it. Huh. And the bag pudding, it's probably called a bag pudding because you boil it or steam it in a bag. And it looks like bread, but I think it's like rain mold. What? Marmalade? I guess that's used in cooking. The following song relating to Robin Hood, the celebrated outlaw, is well known as Worksop in Nottinghamshire, where it constitutes one of the nursery series. Robin Hood is in the mickle wood. Robin Hood is in the mickle wood. Little John, he to the town is gone. Robin Hood is telling his beads, all in the greenwood among the green reeds. Little John, if he comes no more, Robin Hood, he will fret full sore. It sounds... Robin Hood is in the mickle wood. Little John, he to the town is gone. Robin Hood is telling his beads, all in the greenwood among the green weeds. Little John, if he comes no more, Robin Hood, he will fret full sore. The following lines were obtained in Oxfordshire. The story to which it alludes is related by Matthew Paris. This is 4. One moonshiny night, as I sat high, waiting for one to come by, the boughs did bend, my heart did ache, to see what hold the fox did make. And moonshiny as in the moon was shining, not as in moonshine, because that's a term that originates in America after 18s. Well, I mean, it comes from, like, when alcohol was banned, because you would make moonshine when the moon shined. At least that's what I think. It's how it got its name. The following perhaps refers to Joanna of Castile, who visited the court of Henry VII in the year 1506. Okay, interesting. I had a little nut tree, nothing it would bear, but a silver nutmeg and a golden pear. The King of Spain's daughter came to visit me, and all was because of my little nut tree. I skipped over water, I danced over seed, and the birds in the air couldn't catch me. Interesting. So there's a little nut tree with a silver nutmeg, golden pear. The King of Spain's daughter came to visit because of said tree, and you get excited, and then the person gets excited, I guess? Perhaps there's... I don't know my history here. I'm just reciting poems. From MS in the old Royal Library in the British Museum, the exact reference to which is mislaid, it is written, if I recollect rightly, in the hand of the time Henry VIII, in an older manuscript. Make no spare of John Hunky's mare, and now I think she will die. He thought it good to put her in the wood, to seek where she might lie dry. If the mare should chance to fail, then the crowns would for her sail. Okay, now we have number 7. The King of, from M.S. Sloane, 1489, FOL.19, written in the time of Charles I. The King of France and 4,000 men, they drew their... The King of France and 4,000 men, they drew their swords and put them up again. Okay, now for 8, we have in a tract called Piggy's Coronto, or News from the North, for Toulon, Part 3. This is called Old Tarleton Song. It is perhaps a parody on the popular epigram of Jack and Jill. I do not know the period of the battle which it appears to allude, but Tarleton died in the year 1588, so the line must be earlier. The King of France went up the hill with 20,000 men. The King of France came down the hill and never went up again. So, the King of France went up the hill with 20,000 men. The King of France came down the hill and never went up again. Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water. Jack fell down and broke his crown, and Jill came tumbling after. The King of France went... Wait, hold on, let me count here. Jack and Jill went up the hill. 7. The King of France went up the hill. 8. With 20,000 men to fetch a pail of water. 7. So it seems to be within a syllable so far. The King of France came down the hill. Jack fell down and broke his crown. 7. The King of France came down the hill. 8, okay, and never went up again. And Jill came tumbling after. 7, and never went up again. 7. Okay, yeah. Or maybe 6 if you say never as one word, since it's an apostrophe. Then we have 9. The King of France with 20,000 men went up the hill and then came down again. The King of Spain with 20,000 more climbed the same hill the French had climbed before. So, the King of France with 20,000 men went up the hill and then came down again. The King of Spain with 20,000 more climbed the same hill the French had climbed before. So, France claims a hill. Then either ignores it or loses it. Then Spain claims it, I guess? Another version there sings the first line that repeats it time after time until the expectant little one asks, what next? Then comes the climax. I think it's the first line that repeats it time after time. The King of France, 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 the King of France. What next? With 40,000 men. Oh, they went all up. Oh, they all went up the hill, and so came back again. The King of France, the King of France, with 40,000 men. The King of France, the King of France, 40,000. I'm assuming the sound is just the King of France, the King of France, the King of France. Okay, now at 11. At the siege of Belle Isle, there was all the while at the siege of Belle Isle. At the siege of Belle Isle, there was all the while at the siege of Belle Isle. Okay. So now 12. The tune to the following may be found in the English Dancing Master 1613 P. 37. The rose is red, the grass is green, serve Queen Bess, our noble queen. Kitty the spinner will sit down to dinner, eat the leg of a frog. All good people look over the steeple and see the cat play with the dog. This is after the Treaty of Paris, but... So, okay, so the rose is red, and the grass is green. So Queen Bess, our noble queen. Kitty the spinner. So a spinner named Kitty will sit down to dinner and eat a leg of a frog. So in France? Okay, now for 13, I think. Good Queen Bess was a glorious dame. When bonny King Jemmy from Scotland came, we'll pepper their bodies, their peaceable naughties, and give them a crack of the crown. Peaceable naughties? Oh yeah, this one. The word... Okay, so now in 14. The word Tory has changed greatly in its meaning, as it originated in the reign of Elizabeth and represented a class of bog trotters who were a compound of the maid and the highwayman. For many interesting particulars, see Croft and Crocker's researches in the south of Ireland. Okay. Ho, Master Teague, what is your story? I went to the wood and killed a Tory. I went to the wood and killed another. Was it the same, or was it his brother? I hunted him and I hunted him out. We timed through the bog and about and about. So, when out of a bush I saw his head, so I fired my gun and shot him dead. Bog trotters? Well, now it just means someone who is loyal. Okay, so now 15. Please to remember the 5th of November, the gunpowder treason. Please to remember the 5th of November, gunpowder treason and plot. I know no reason why gunpowder treason should ever be forgot. Taken from Mr. Deuce 357, following 124. See Eckerd's History of England, Book 3, Chapter 1. Or I don't know, maybe it's Book Triple I, how should I know? Seesaw Sackaday, Monmouth is a pretty boy. Richmond is another, Grafton is my only joy. Or only. Probably just onely. And why should I these three destroy to please a pious brother? Over the water and over the lea, and over the water to Charlie. Charlie loves good ale and wine, and Charlie loves good brandy, and Charlie loves a pretty girl as sweet as sugar candy. Over the water and over the sea, and over the water to Charlie. I'll have none of your nasty beef, nor I'll have none of your barley. We'll have some of your very best flour to make a white cake for my Charlie. Okay, so now 18. The fall of our... Okay, so now we move on to 18. The following is partly quoted in an old song in an MS at Oxford Ashmole number 36 FOL.113. As I was going by Charing Cross, I saw a black man upon a black horse. They told me it was King Charles I. Oh dear, my heart was ready to burst. And then we have, what's it? 19. Heidelding, did you hear the bells ring? The Parliament soldiers are gone to the king. Some they did laugh, some they did cry, to see the Parliament soldiers pass by. Okay, now 20. Hiding-a-ding and holding-a-ding. The Parliament soldiers are gone to the king. Some with new beavers, some with new bands. The Parliament soldiers are all gonna be hanged. Oh. Oh. Okay. Okay, we got it. Now 21. Hector Protector was all dressed in green. Hector Protector was sent to the queen. The queen did not like him nor Mordred the king, so Hector Protector was sitting back again. Okay, 22. The following is a fragment of a song on the subject which was introduced by Russell in the character of Jerry Sneak. Poor old Robinson Crusoe. Poor old Robinson Crusoe. Poor old Robinson Crusoe. They made him a coat of an old learning goat. I wonder how they could do so. With a ring-ting-tang and a ring-ting-tang, poor old Robinson Crusoe. Okay. Now we have 23. Written on the occasion of the marriage of Mary, the daughter of James, Duke of York, afterwards James II, with the young Prince of Orange. The song from which these lines are taken may be seen in the Jacobite Minstrelsy, 12mo, Glasgow, 1828, p.28. Ugh. Sneezy. What is the rhyme for Porringer? The king had a daughter fair, and gave the Prince of Orange her. Orange her, pouring her. What is the rhyme for Porringer? The king he had a daughter fair, and gave the Prince of Orange her. Well, I gotta search up what Porringer. Okay, a Porringer is a shallow bowl between 4 and 6 inches. Okay, so now 14. The following nursery song alludes to William III and George, Prince of Denmark. William, Mary, George, and for such children had never a man. They'd put their father to flight and shame, then called their brother a shocking bad name. Okay, 15 is a song, 25 is a song on King William III. As I walk by myself and talk to myself, myself said unto me, look to thyself, take care of thyself, for nobody cares for thee. I answered myself and said to myself in the self-same repartee, look to thyself, or not look to thyself, the self-same thing will be. Okay, so now 26. From M.S. Sloane, 1489, followed by 19, written in the time of Charles I. It appears from MS Harl 390 followed by 85 that these verses written in 1626 against the Duke of Buckingham. There was a monkey climbed up a tree. When he fell down, then down fell he. There was a crow sat on a stone. When he was gone, then there was none. There was an old wife did eat an apple. When she had two, she had eat a couple. There was a horse going to the mill. When he went on, he stood not still. There was a butcher cut his thumb. When it did bleed, then blood did come. When there was a lackey who ran a race. When he ran fast, he ran apace. There was a cobbler clouding shoon. When they were mended, they were done. I don't know, maybe it's done. Or maybe it's shun. And when they were mended, they were done. There was a chandler making a candle. When he did them strip, he did them handle. There was a navy went into Spain. When it returned, it came again. There was a monkey climbed up a tree. When he fell down, then down fell he. There was a crow sat on a stone. When he was gone, then there was none. Yeah, there was an old wife did eat an apple. When she had eat two, she had eat a couple. Hold on. There was a monkey climbed up a tree. When he fell down, then down fell he. There was a crow sat on a stone. When he was gone, then there was none. When there was an old wife did eat an apple. When she had eat two, she had eat a couple. There was a horse going not to the mill. When he went on, he stood not still. There was a butcher cut his thumb. When it did bleed, then blood did come. There was a lackey ran a race. When he ran fast, he ran apace. There was a cobbler cloud and shun. When they were mended, then they were done. There was a chandler making a candle. When he them stripped, that he did them handle. There was a navy went in Spain. When it returned, it came again. Okay. Now 27. The following may possibly allude to King George and the Pretender. Jim and George were two great lords. They all fought in a churn. They fought all in a churn. And when that Jim got George by the nose, then George began to gurn. Little General Monk sat upon a trunk. In it crust of bread. There fell a hot coal and burnt his clothes a hole. Now General Monk is dead. Keep always from the fire. If it catch your attire, you too, like Monk, will be dead. Little General Monk sat upon a trunk, eating crust of bread, and that little General Monk sat upon a trunk, eating a crust of bread. There fell a hot coal and burnt in his clothes a hole. Now General Monk is dead. Keep always from the fire. If it catch your attire, you too, like Monk, will be dead. Okay, now on to 29. 88 wore Kirby fate. Whenever a man was slain, they ate their their meat, and drank their drink it, and say, come merrily hame again. Hame again. A, B, C, D, 1, 2, 3, I love coffee and Billy loves tea. How good you be? 1, 2, 3, I love coffee and Billy loves tea. Well, with that being said, it's the end of today's episode. And as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell for more details. In the middle here, you can subscribe. On the left, there's a video that I made. And on the right, there's a video that YouTube recommends for you.